Fresh Takes are presented by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food, and you know what time it is. The professor's in the house, Matt Ryan, to give you those grades on what we saw on Sunday. And Matt, let's start with the Colts, a different look. Joe Flacco back under center, but not the result they wanted. What'd you see there?
C-. Offensively, not very good. Not much improvement for the Colts there, even with making the change, Joe Flacco. I do think their defense played pretty well. Gave them some chances, turnovers, the fumble return for the touchdown. But a disappointing effort for the Colts, who were trying to, get closer with the Texans' loss on Thursday night. So disappointing from the Colts.
On the opposite side of that, the Vikings, the winners. Where do they fall for you?
It's a B. I think a good win, solid. We'll take it. Keep moving forward. A couple too many turnovers for my liking, but found a way to get it done. They got to make their field goals when they get a chance. Looked like their kicker's leg was hurt or something. I don't know what was going on, but it's just a B, but a good win.
Rams and Seahawks go to OT, but in that one we start with the Rams, and that way that ended it was fun, it was exciting. So what are the Rams getting?
Yeah, I mean, awesome game to watch, right? Probably not the most well-played game on both sides, but awesome game to watch. I give the Rams a B. I think it's a tough place to win. They got the job done. I don't think it was, maybe they weren't firing on all cylinders. Puka Nacua leaves the game, gets ejected. So a B for the win.
So then on the other side, when you lose in a walk-off fashion like that, I'm assuming you're not going to ding them too much, right?
I'm going C- because I feel like they gave them that, listen, Matthew Stafford's touchdown pass at the end was incredible, beautiful throw. They hung tough, they found a way, but I feel like Seattle gave them that game, right? With the turnovers, Geno's turnovers in the red zone. I felt like they had chances to put that game away a number of times and just weren't able to do it. C- for me.
NFC North there, you got the Lions outside for the first time in Week 9. I mean, that has to be like some extra credit for them, right?
That weather looked awful. It looked, I was watching, thankfully, in the studio, not having to be out there in that. It's an A. Detroit gets an A. Going in, handle the conditions, just the way they continue to play week after week, the physicality with which they play. It's different every time, right? Yesterday, the combination of Gibbs and Montgomery in the run game is impressive. Jared Goff, he just doesn't really throw incompletions, which is crazy. So it's an A for me.
Real quickly, do they need anything before the trade deadline? I know Hutchinson, the replacement there, would have been an option, but your thoughts? They could be a Super Bowl contender.
Pass rush would be nice, right? I'm expecting them to be aggressive in the next 24 hours.
All right, Packers on the opposite side of taking that L at home. What's the grade for them?
C, and I honestly think the game was probably a little closer, than the score kind of indicated, but the turnovers and just some poor decisions by Jordan Love, a C. They've got to find a way to stop turning the football over like they have. They've been great at taking it away for the most part throughout the year, but they've got to clean up the turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. I know some of that has to do with the weather, but you got to be able to handle it. It's a C for me.
2 straight L's for the Bears now. Caleb Williams sacked 6 times yesterday against the Cardinals. So Chicago was landing where on the scale?
Yeah, I was talking on set with Nate and Coach about this. Coach had some strong opinions, probably stronger than my own. I went with the D. I think Coach, he might have given them an F. And I think it's a disappointing performance, given all of the things that went on the week before too, right? They lose on the Hail Mary. They have the coaching issues. They have, kind of some, just comments that came out in the locker room. I expected them to come out and play really well, start fast and kind of turn the tide on that. And they weren't able to do that. The offensive line has been disappointing. The defense finishing out halves, right? Finishing out the first half yesterday, the end of the game the week before. Disappointing performance, so it's a D for me for the Bears.
Yeah, it's a 20-point win for the Cardinals, so where are they getting?
I give them a B+, and it maybe could have been an A-, really good performance from them, but a B+. I like what they're doing. Defensively, they played well yesterday. I think there have been, some question marks defensively, but the run game, James Conner, he was downhill yesterday. The passing game, not big numbers, but they were efficient in it. I like what they're doing in Arizona right now. Jonathan Gannon, their head coach, has done a great job.
Jags and Doug Peterson returning to the place where he won a Super Bowl in Philly. Thoughts on what they got and where you got the Jags in their grades?
I give the Jags a C. Really played poorly in the first half. Second half came out and played pretty well. They had a chance. I mean, given a poor decision by Trevor Lawrence there at the end of the game, they had a chance to go win that football game. And so it's a C for me. I thought they played hard. I thought they played tough, but too many mistakes.
Whatever you have for Philly, I think there needs to be a plus in front of it. The only reason why, because of Saquon, his legs went like this, backwards. So what you give the Eagles?
Well, Saquon's an A. Let me start with that. Saquon was unbelievable yesterday. That move, the spin move, the backwards hurdle, just unbelievable. And he's playing, he's squarely in the MVP conversation. He's been a difference maker. I give the Eagles a B, and really I think their players, played above that, but it's like Nick Sirianni is allergic to kicking the football, right? Like he doesn't want to do it. They want to go for it on fourth. They refuse to take points. They're going for two too many times yesterday. That could have been a very different game. I'm concerned about some of the decisions that they're making, but the players and the scheme-wise, I like all of that. It's just critical decisions that they're making that I disagree with.
Broncos and Ravens. Broncos get only 10 points on the scoreboard. Ravens blew them out. We'll start with the Broncos. Where are they falling?
I give them a C-. I think the Ravens are very good, and I think it's a tough place to go in and play. They did not play well yesterday. They were kind of out of sorts from the start, outside of the Philly special that they hit. Not very productive on the offensive side of the ball. So it's a C- for me for the Broncos.
Feel like the Ravens has to be an A. You get a perfect passer rating from Lamar Jackson, right? That's 100 territory, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Running the football, it's an A for me. I mean, running the football, perfect passer rating from Lamar. I liked what they did defensively. I felt like they played more of a bend, don't break style, which is not typical for Baltimore, right? You think of Baltimore, an aggressive defense that's going to create confusion. But given how good their offense is playing, I think making that kind of philosophical change on the defensive side and just making teams go down, matriculate down the field against you, not giving up big plays. I like that change for them yesterday in philosophy.
All right, the Ravens doing their part to get on Professor Ryan's good side. Taking a look at and recapping some of those grades if you guys missed it. Only 2 A's after we saw from yesterday, at least from the first slate of games that we're doing. The line checking in as well as Lamar helping the Ravens here. I mean, the Eagles should have got a B+. If we just go see Saquon got an A. That means they had a C before Saquon, but that's fine. Outside of that, nobody in trouble except for the Bears. We got more coming, but ahead, a tough day at the office for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys once again. Yeah, but this one coming with some bumps and bruises, including when it comes to their QB1 and his favorite target. We'll tap in on that next. We're back on it here with Professor Matt Ryan, and, just give it to me delicately. The Cowboys, what you got?
That's a big D.
That's fine.
Big D for big D, man.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. That's fair.
I mean, what else can you give them?
Yeah. I'd have given him F, to be honest.
Could have been. No, I give him a D. Disappointing, just across the board. But I did like watching that highlight, and I did like you mentioned in that 2016. Yeah, thank you.
I bet you did. All right, now you know. Okay, I'll leave it alone.
Perks to the professor. Nah,
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. The Falcons on the opposite side of that one.
That's a B. That's a B. A B for the Falcons yesterday. Good performance offensively. Love what they're doing. I feel like they're incredibly efficient on the offensive side of the ball. I think the defense needs to play a little bit better, but they're finding ways to win.
I saw folks online, even though the fact that the Dolphins lost, they're saying, hey, we still have a chance to do something for the season. They fall to the Bills yesterday. What do you give them?
I mean, I give them a B-. I thought they played well. Tua, made some great plays during that game, kind of keep them in it. It was back and forth, right? And They had the Jordan Poyer kind of, unnecessary roughness penalty, which was a penalty, but it kind of bailed out the Bills there to allow them to kick that 61-yard field goal. So it's a B- for me for the Dolphins.
And the Bills fall where then?
I give them a B. I think it was a tight game. Good win for them. You just want to keep stacking these wins. I don't think it was Josh Allen's best performance. They got the turnover down in the red zone with Keon Coleman dropping that football. Jalen Ramsey comes out with the pick. So a B, but I think they can be better.
Raiders and Bengals, and boy, it just continues to get ugly for the Raiders. What you got for Vegas?
I got a D for Vegas, and now I'm wondering who's going to be coaching the offense in 2 weeks. They get rid of the OC, the O-line coach, and the quarterback coach. So it's going to be interesting. I agree with you. You've benched Gardner Minshew now 3 times. It was a D yesterday.
Opposite side, the Bengals and Joe Burrow. I mean, I know we're talking about others in the MVP race, but he's looking pretty good so far. They've, 2 straight wins? What do you give Cincy?
B+. I think, you look at them, I think Joe Burrow, 5 touchdown passes. He's playing really well. There's no question about it. I think defensively, a little bit better, but I still like to see some improvement from the defense when they go against some of these better teams. They got a big stretch coming up for them. The next 3 weeks, to me, are going to define whether or not they make their run and get in the AFC wild card. So B+ for yesterday's performance.
So much for a nice little sequel for Jameis Winston, getting another start with the Browns. Chargers all over them. So where do LA fall?
Listen, all right, so the Chargers for me, B+. You go on the road, you take care of business the way they did, was impressive. Their defense is really, really good. Offensively, yesterday, they had some explosive plays in the pass game, mainly because of busts in the back end for the Browns, but they took advantage of that. They continue to run the football effectively, B+.
3 interception day for Jameis, and the Browns get what?
D. You turn the football over like that many times. It's going to be tough defensively. I think they had 6 sacks, but some busts in the back end. Just a disappointing effort from the Browns yesterday.
Patriots looking good with Drake May. What did they get?
I give him a C. I think that's fair. I think Drake is playing, really. He's playing really solid, and I think he's making plays. I think, each week he plays well is kind of building up his confidence. The play at the end of regulation to find a way to get the touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson was awesome. I think I'll learn from the interception in overtime, but it's a C for me for New England.
All right, Titans just sliding by an OT. What do they get?
C+. Yeah, so I think both teams kind of on par. They played basically the same game, but they found a way to get it done in overtime, and so they get the plus.
Commanders starting off the year hot still. They get the dub, and they fall where on your scale?
B+. B+ yesterday. Division game, taking care of business up there. I think it's not easy after you have an emotional win like they had with the Hail Mary and all that stuff to respond, but they seem to do it every week. I'm impressed with the maturity of their team. B+ for the Commanders.
And then the Giants land where?
I give them a C. I thought they were competitive in that, clawed their way back in, gave themselves a chance late in that football game. But they just don't have enough talent, in my opinion, to get over that hump and to find ways to win games. So it's a C. I thought Daniel Jones played pretty well, though.
Your old division, the NFC South there, the Saints, don't know what to say because it didn't look good with Carr returning, but what do you give them?
All right, they catch an F. They catch an F.
Wow.
I feel like, given what the Panthers are, you have Derek Carr coming back, just the way that they played, it looks sloppy, just no rhythm. It's tough. I mean, they've had injuries at the wide receiver position that are tough to overcome. But I think going into Charlotte and playing that way, not getting the job done against the Panthers, it's an F for the Saints.
So the Panthers, they have to be better. This probably is their best grade since we started this. So where does Carolina fall?
A C. A C. They get a C for me. C's get degrees.
Yeah.
And so that's a passing mark for the Panthers yesterday. Good for Bryce Young getting the first win of this season for him. Second for the Panthers overall. Congratulations to the Panthers.
Do you hear
and
that?
To Zach, man, I know you had to have been pumped up.
Do you hear the happy music we've got going right now, Matt? It's celebration time. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we're celebrating all over. I feel the juices. Start Bryce Young the rest of the way if you're the Panthers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You got to figure out, I mean, it's kind of like Drake May we were talking about earlier. Every little bit of success that you can find is going to build that confidence. You got to figure out what you have in him. If this is the guy that you're going to move forward with, no question you play Bryce the rest of the way.
I'm hoping he is the guy. You are our guy, Matt Ryan, the professor. Thank you so much for the time. We always appreciate it. And, of course, a little recap of the grades that Matt just gave out. No A's this time around, the second portion of the grades, but at least you're not the Raiders getting a D, an F for the Saints, and a D for the Browns and Brandon's Cowboys. Meanwhile, my Saints getting a C.
Your Saints?
Oh, my
Your
gosh.
Saints?
Oh.
Did you hear that?
No!
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. You got him so excited. I'd like to bring him back down. But on Sundays at 12 Eastern time, you catch Matt and JB and the guys.
Obviously a
on
mistake.
CBS
Obviously
with
a
his
mistake.
Saints. We're
Mistake.
done.
A mistake.
He did it again.
A mistake.